Hello, 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 and welcome back to the. I keep wanting to say the fucking Team Fight Talk Show, man. Well, it's like ingrained in my brain. Triforce Tactics. Hello. You have, of course, myself, Drachi, and Kevin, who are here every week, and then we have a wonderfully bearded guest this week, Mr. GrandVice8 himself, and doing the same pose as the one from the starting screen. Not bad, not bad. So I guess we'll just start how we always do, just kind of talking about how life's been. And I can start as usual, I guess. It's been good. I had internet problems all of last week and like the beginning of this week, so I didn't stream at all for like 4 days, and it felt really weird because I had nothing to do with my time, and I couldn't play TFT either because I was just disconnecting every single game. So it was kind of fucked, but we're good now. So yeah, how about you, Joshi?
I had a really productive week, actually. I finally started streaming again. I climbed 200 LP in 3 days, all on stream, which is very unusual for me. I usually run it, and I practiced a lot over on the trombone stuff. So it's been a productive week. Also, there's story time later about the conclusion of the Kurum's golf equipment saga, but we concluded the Kurum's golf equipment saga, and that was fun. So,
very nice. How are you doing today, Mr. Bearded Man himself?
A little tired. We woke up pretty early to cast Worlds. Other than that, pretty good. Just generally busy streaming. Trying to practice TFT and all the NFT stuff that's going on in the bull market. Staying busy for sure.
You have to teach us about penguins. I haven't heard about penguins yet. You've got to teach us.
Oh, there's so much. There's infinite NFTs.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. Yeah. How about you, Mr. Remkev?
I've been good. I've been doing work, playing on the Smurf account. I've been trying out QSS. It's hit or miss. Sometimes you build a QSS and you don't get any damage items, and it's a little bit awkward. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and sometimes you build QSS in my double frozen heartboard, you bitch.
Yeah, and a bramble vest into
Okay, before I get into things, we were duo queuing earlier, and I'm playing Chugbug, double frozen heart, and Kevin fucking builds QSS on his Yasuo 3, and then builds Bramble on a backline Lee Sin 3. And just sends me 5th. It's the least Ocage business shit I've ever seen in my life. There was not a hint of Ocage business in that play.
It's all right. Plus 10, baby. Let's go.
Innovation at its finest.
That's the epitome of Ocage business, though. No, the true Ocage business is when we're all griefing Kurum. So, that with Kevin towards Appies, that's some Ocage business right there.
Well, I thought I was getting win traded, and then I was the win trader, and it felt awful. I felt like my whole world was flipped upside down in a second. It was just the wholly unfun experience.
Can't play the game. Sends into Bramble vest.
Oh no! Right. Player experiencing what it's like to not play the game. How unfortunate.
Unlucky.
It's the first time for everything. Sin players experiencing how not play the game. Sin players taking a shower. All kinds of things.
Hey, my past self is offended. I take showers. Thank you.
Now you don't play Sins anymore.
Mm-hmm. Now it's the rat players that don't shower. You have to realize.
Yeah. Very true. Anyways, so again, our guest today is GVA, GrandVice8, if you don't know, but you should know. Don't talk if you don't know. So we can just jump right into some questions, some targeted questions for you. So I guess the first thing, with Worlds going on, and there's a lot of co-streaming and stuff going on, a lot of people casting. So you have historically been someone who is co-streamed and cast a lot of events like that. I guess, how do you feel about the format of how they record everything, how they stream everything, and for someone who likes to do the casting thing? How do you feel with the whole system in general, I guess?
I feel like the format is pretty good. The 4-day format gives the players a little wiggle room, and where they place, no one gets knocked out too quick. I think the qualifiers were really well done, where 1/3 is dropped, 1/3 is dropped. If you have a couple bad games, you're not out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're gonna do the lot. It's just one lobby tomorrow, right? Just one lobby 5. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
5
too bad.
games,
You're able
one
to watch all the games, so that's kind of cool. You get it, you get it. There's no multiple games running at the same time, so you don't really miss anything. Although with the way the spectator's been, you kind of do miss stuff. So I mean, there's room to improve, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think the spectator thing has been a hot topic, especially on Reddit. I saw a
Reddit's not happy.
Reddit post. No, I think you want to say something about that, Jirachi.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Reddit outrage yet. I saw Twitch chat like complaining a lot about spectator mode. And I know some OCE guys were actually saying like they actually want to go back to just like player perspective because they want to see what everything someone's doing.
I'd prefer that too. You miss so
Yeah.
much. Like people are just AFK. Like there's nothing happening because you don't see the scouting.
Yeah. Honestly, I think some balance actually. When during like the prep time, and if there's some way they can do this, like during the prep time, you see exactly what the player's doing, but during the fight itself, like just let it go, focus on that one player, because that's something that I've noticed happens a lot actually. Like it'll be in the middle of a fight and someone will be like scouting around seeing what other people are doing instead of watching their own fight. And that can get confusing sometimes for like a spectator point of view. But during the prep time, like seeing everything that someone's doing would be really nice, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know they're working on the whole little legend scouting. What they could do is they could follow the little legend around. So if you scout someone's board, your little legend goes over there, the camera follows it. And that way you get to see what they're looking at. And then when it's a fight, you just kind of lock on it.
That'd be super cool. Yeah, I feel like it ends up being that like, there's some guy playing, like there's some dude just like, oh shit, I hit 5 draconic in tournament, like, about to get my fatty golden egg, cash out, roll down. And then they like switch to the guy who's like on his 6 sentinel board, like 50 gold, just going 8. Like right as they're about to start rolling, you're like, come on, man. I just want to see the action.
Yeah, you check out the guy slow rolling for first 3. Oh, okay, 50 gold, we're done.
You're like, when you see them accidentally roll past Triss and they just like shit under their breath, and that's like the hype point of that, that perspective. Where like you could be watching the dude, hitting fucking Heimer 2 on 4-2, which has happened like 3 times to me in games today, by the way.
Yeah,
but
I was there. We thought.
But like, I don't know. I think the player perspective thing would be really cool. I think it's just nice, like, especially for people who like to co-stream it, right? They can just like go to whatever stream they want, see whatever they want. Because I think the thing with TFT, at least if you have people who are like, I don't know, their job is literally just to like know where the action is in a game of TFT. Like it's hard to keep track of everything for like a single stream.
Yeah, I wonder if adding delay would help out at all. Because if you had like a 3-minute delay or something, then you have that little bit of extra time to like kind of like craft how the flow of thing goes more by. I don't know. If I feel like unless you do the delay by like a whole game, then you don't, and you have like multiple teams. It's just so hard to like spectate TFT right now, just because there's so much going on, and there's definitely like little things they can do to really show everything that's happening. Like we missed a lot of what Stimmy is today. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't get the camera on the first person who got Stimmy until like game 3, so we just didn't see what Stimmy was, and like for a while for a lot of the game. So like and that's just such a set specific thing, but some little graphic that's like, oh, this is what the Radiant Blessing is, or even like what Radiant item everyone took. Like having that information, like it'll get like a little busy, but having all that information accessible, just because there's so much we end up missing because we're not only focused on one player at a time out of 8.
It's hard because not even like good players always see what Stimmy is. So like expecting an observer to do that it's a little tough. But there should be like cues for it. Like there should, I don't know. It's like TFT is too small. We don't have the infrastructure. There's no like specific breaks like, all right, bro, 40 HP. There's no like Stimmy checker, We need a Stimmy checker. We need okay, so what I did with I did it one time. I had a multi-stream when it was we had 4 POVs on the screen, and when it was Radiant time, I just kind of like zoomed out and you saw all 4, and even though like it was small, you still saw all the items. So like it's really cool to see what everyone gets, and you can like kind of do multiple POVs there where you just like kind of show their name and like the items they get. But It's probably going to be more relevant going forward because we're going to have like what are they called? Augments next.
Augmentations? Yeah,
things where people have choices. Yeah, there's definitely things that could be done, but it's kind of new. You can't flame them too much, but at the same time, you got to get the concerns there, and you just honestly just get one of the players who didn't make it to Worlds to do it. And just like put Ace of Spades in there. Right. Let him control the camera. Let him put Dasik over there.
Oh, but you went
all right.
You're on the camera. You're on camera now.
If ever any riders who end up watching this, like none of what we're saying is flame. Like we get it. It's such a new thing, and like we're still figuring it out. We're just like we want it to be better.
I mean, even in like League of Legends, right? I feel like at least the last time I watched like LCS or whatever, there's still flame about like those spectators, right? And they've been doing that for
only flame because we care.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years, Like Spectator, obviously, like if we could get challenger players to be doing all of the spectating, etc., it would be kind of nice because they would probably have a better idea of what to look for. But you can't really message some guy that's on challenger and be like, hey, you want to do the camera for Worlds? Unless maybe they paid him. Maybe I'd be down for like a few bucks. Maybe not if I had to wake up at 5 a.m. actually, but you can get one of the European players for sure.
Do we know who's doing the observing today? I don't think.
Some intern at Riot.
Someone just played like 6 normals and then was like, "Oh shit, I love watching people slow roll." Like I fucking love. Wait, what's stimulus? Is that a thing?
Did people flame the observing at Set 4 Worlds? Because I don't know if we did. And also, I vaguely remember someone said, I think like Soju said Natures was doing Set 4 Worlds. And like Loki, Natures is the perfect person for that because he's been super high ranked. And he's been like so ingrained into Giant Slayer that like he knows what's up both on the production side and on the gameplay side. So he's kind of like the perfect person for that right now. But if he's the only one basically, and observing such a hard job just across all of esports that we could definitely use another like 1 or 2 really high level players that are like ingrained in the whole like production team system that can observe as well.
Yeah, I saw something about people like wondering if the caster should be the one looking for things, right? Which I'm not going to say.
There's no way.
Did they do that in League? Did they do that in League? Like casters they do not.
They'll say, "Oh, can we?" They'll kind of suggest. They'll throw someone out. Oh, I want to see this guy's board. Like when I was casting the turn, he's like, "Yo, if you want to see this guy's board," you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, what he's doing," and they'll kind of like get to it. So they have like influence over, but it'd be too hard for them to control.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The thing is, I feel like League is a like normal League, right? Look at normal casting, normal League, or like the perspective that you get on the map from normal League. I'm sure it took a long time to get where it is because like it feels like right now it's like if we're watching, like if you compare watching Worlds, for example, to watching League, I feel like we're missing a team fight every now and then, right? We're like we were looking at a guy doing his red buff as like top lane fighting.
There's a double in the ball lane. You're watching him kite the blue.
Yeah, right. And that like it comes with time, right? Because I'm sure I didn't watch a ton of League in like the first couple seasons, but I'm sure it was with Pega as fuck. You know, like it's not like a thing that like, people get good at overnight. So
I started watching LCS in like 2014, and it's gotten better. Like it took a while for them to really perfect that. I'm sure it's going to be the same thing in TFT. And also, I was going to say, like, from the 2 people in this call who have casted, there is no way we can do observing at the same time. Like, no shot. Yeah, like I'm thinking LCS they'll give the casters like some control of like what they can look at, but it's not what the actual broadcast sees. So like even like giving us a control over what we want to look at almost maybe wouldn't be that bad of an idea, but yeah, no, dedicated observers, please.
Yeah. Does seem like it's too much to think about, right? Well, I guess that it has nothing to do with this next point, but you know what? That's fine. The next thing we're going to talk about GV8. So GV8, you have a stat website that you run. If you want to plug it real quick.
Yeah. TFTcoach.org. Pog.
Yeah. It's goated. And so you just want to, you use that a lot to like understand what units you want to play, what's kind of like comps you want to play, stuff like that, right?
When that Radiant Army comes up, you better believe it.
Yeah.
I type in the unit, I type in the item. Oh, how good is it? Oh, this one's better. Bet.
So how much do you think that affects like how you play and like do you think that like is super positive for like positively affecting your placements and stuff?
I've been doing this since like set 3. There was like little API sites that were just have the awful user experience that like tell you win rates, and I would just go off of that almost exclusively. I mean, you kind of like think about it, you kind of play your best board, but it's too much work to figure out what's good and what sucks. So you just kind of go off of the numbers, and it's like you kind of like there's a reason it has a better placement, and you kind of figure it out based off of that. It's like someone tells you what the answer is, and you just kind of work backwards,
Yeah,
it takes some of the guesswork out of it.
Because there's certainly some things there that can be bait, right? Like, I think in set 4.5 or something, like or set 4 or whatever, Azir was like one of the lowest win rate units. But like, he's not like he's bad, right? It was that like he just like couldn't. I don't think that's cap. I'm pretty sure that's an actual thing. The thing was that like people just like when they're about to die, rolling down, they see Azir, they're like, oh shit, I have no front line, I'm gonna play Azir, and then they die anyways. Like that
I mean,
kind of thing, right?
there's obviously a thing that's like survivorship bias that's going to affect the numbers, and you kind of like think about it, but general like there's trends that you'll see,
Yeah. Do either of you, Andrashi or MKev, use stat sites at all? 'Cause I feel like I don't use them at all, which is probably bad.
I've used meta TFT just for like get a general idea of like what's good. I used to use it way more like as like, oh, this is exactly what I should be playing, but this is like set 3 when I was hard stuck master. Like we've gotten past that. But like I'll peek at meta TFT if it's also I've like taken a few days off and I'm just like, okay, what are people playing? What's doing well? Okay, this is generally what's doing well, and I can go from there. I feel like a lot of stats sites, because of like survivorship bias and stuff, you can't just go off of, oh, these are the numbers of what works. Okay, I'm just gonna play this exactly and not change anything, because that's not how TFT works. Like we have to be pretty adaptable and flexible in what we do.
Yeah.
But like just using stuff like that to get a general idea of what's good. That's something I'll do quite a bit even now.
Yeah,
It's good at like when a new patch hits and you don't really know what's going on. You're like, okay.
First day of patch that I played. That's usually when I check meta TFT. Also, there's a number of good stat sites now. Like people are figuring out how to use the API. Like obviously, our very own guest TFT coach is excellent. Meta TFT has been around for a while. I really like that. There has to be others. I just mostly stick to that. Yeah.
I mean, I've only recently, because Dax told me in game, he's like, Radiant Spark is the highest win rate Radiant item.
Is it really?
Oh, it's not anymore, but apparently the time that he checked, he was like, oh, this is it. I'm playing AD, Archangel carry, let me take this Radiant Spark real quick. And he went first. I was like, But I don't really I'm lazy, so I don't really look. I just wait for somebody to tell me. I'll wait for Dax to say and call, like, oh, you know what the highest win rate item is here? I was like, what is it? And he was like, this is it. I was like, okay, cool. And I just remember it. Be like, okay, I'll slam that next time. I'll do that.
Yeah. I feel like someone that
blessing Yasuo for sure. I checked it one time. I'm like, oh, this is broken. And you build it, and it's broken.
Yeah, it's.
And I feel like there are some Radiant items where like those like where their stats really have like there's no. Like, you don't have to read into it all. Like Spark, when like original Spark and like original Sunfire and stuff, like those items are literally just like they're like another fucking unit. Like those items are the carry. You know what I mean? Like back then, like Spark was still like 2% HP regeneration and shit. Like if you took Radiant Spark on a full AD board, like it's a fucking Spark. Like you're taking it. You know. So I think the stats behind Radiant items are definitely like pretty sick. It's like okay. Speaking of Yasuo, by the way, can I just like make a quick PSA? Don't build Archangels on Yasuo. It's so fucking bad.
Really?
It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, I don't think it's bad, but it's not as good as Deathcap.
Listen to this, UVA. Listen to this, okay? Because Ramblin did the math a while ago. I was watching a stream, he did the math. It takes 7 casts, apparently, for Archangel. It takes 7 casts for the next cast of Archangel's Yasuo to gain as much damage as Rabadon starts with.
Yes. Okay, I think Archangel's Yasuo sucks unless you have Radiant Blue. If you have
together, you got Radiant Blue.
Yes, it's happening.
It's popping, baby.
Yeah.
But on its own, it's not great.
I think you need like Cavs bad as well to make it. I
But
don't know.
also,
It's
that's just
just, like,
Deathcap is broken and it's super underrated. Like it's been
Deathcap's
broken and
broken.
underrated for forever. People love Jeweled Gauntlet. It sucks. Jeweled Gauntlet's a fake
Yeah.
item unless you're running Vel'Koz.
Yeah.
And even on Vel'Koz, like I poked on Reddit and saw someone's like, oh yeah, this is the math on like Rabs versus JG on Vel'Koz, and like this is the AP threshold. And I was like, wait, the AP threshold's like 140 something that like
Yeah,
JG is
super
better,
high.
and like in general, it's pretty high. And like if you just have 2 Spellweaver, the chances you hit that threshold aren't even that great. So like decap is fine on Vel'Koz still. Like this is coming from like
Yeah.
me. I used to be in the mindset of like, oh, I have decap, like, and no JG, I can't really play Vel'Koz, and I'll see like just flat AP Vel'Kozes pop off, and I'm just like, okay, maybe AP is good, and I've been more willing to play Rabs Vel'Koz, and it's still good. Shocker,
Yeah.
a lot of AP is still good.
I feel like Rabadon just feels really good for the consistency too. Because like if you have like Rabadon Ziggs compared to JG Ziggs early game, I feel like
Yeah.
Rabadon just feels so much better. Because if you don't
Yeah,
crit
it's
one
so
bomb, you can just lose
consistent.
the streak.
Because you'll have those fights where you have JG Ziggs and Spellweavers, but you won't crit in 5 ults, and you're like, well, I lost because I didn't crit.
Yeah, right. It feels so, and then like Vel'Koz kind of makes that okay because it's like so many ticks, right? So like you're kind of like, you see the value a lot more of Vel'Koz beam, but like single target ulting Spellweavers with JG feels so fucking bad sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, can we
with
talk
Karma,
about this
right?
though? I think Riot has done a great job with itemization this set to where you can build multiple different items on like a lot of different carries.
Yeah.
Like Draven itemization, super flex. Lucian is probably the best example. You know, you can build whatever on Lucian. Karma, they made blue buff, Shojin kind of the same. It's super nice. Like you're not locked in. Even with Vel'Koz, like blue buff Vel'Koz, it's not as great as Shojin, but it works. It's fine. It's not too shabby.
Yeah, I feel like there's a big. I feel like everything is playable with so many different items. Like I feel like a lot of that puts an emphasis on like playing a strong early game, right? Because it means like if you're not like 1 HP, you can have kind of shitty items and be fine. Like the units will still win rounds with like kind of shitty items. So yeah, I don't know. It feels really good compared to like set 4.5. I feel like is the epitome of shitty item like flexibility.
Deathblade GA, that's an Olaf game. Let's go. Rageblade, it's got to be Kale.
You don't have QS, you're not playing Kale.
Yeah. And that item flexibility is so nice, especially with like radiant items. Also, like radiant items going into the item flexibility. I love radiant items so much. It really does feel like it's just the item, but better. Like if you can put this item on a unit, the radiant item is also good. It's not like the shadow versions where it's like, this item is good on a unit.
Dude, shadow items, man. Oh god.
Like shadow
That's a
blue
great
buff.
idea, but dude, they fucking sucked.
It's like shadow blue buff. You can play it on 2 units and it's broken, or you can play it on nobody else. That's it. That's it. You get
like balance items around these units and the units around these items, because otherwise, like they're either completely broken or just completely worthless.
Yeah.
I feel like the nice thing is, so I feel like with Shadow Blue being a great example, right? The thing with Shadow Blue is that they were convinced Shadow Blue was not broken. It was the units that were the problem, right? Like they were nerfing LeBlanc and Rise around Shadow Blue. They weren't changing the item. But it feels like now if they change it, like they don't change the unit as much as they're like if a item's broken, they change the item. They don't change like if let's say like when Rage Blade was kind of bad. Rage Blade was kind of bad, right? They didn't like say fuck it, buff everyone that can use Rage Blade. They said all right, we'll just buff Rage Blade, Rage Blade. Which, like, thank God, like, they didn't do the Radiant Blue treatment where they're like, all right, well, Draven can use Rage Blade, so maybe we give him, like, I don't know, 18 more AD? Fuck it, why not 20? Let's give him 20. You get 20 AD, you get 20 AD, you know?
It's or they do the like, oh, like, okay, let's buff Draven, let's buff Kale, let's buff what else is Aphelios, let's buff all these things. Oh, they're still not performing that well. Let's buff Rageblade through the moon. Oh, all of a sudden all these units are broken out of their mind. Like, thank God they're not doing that too. And like that one Radiant Rageblade buff, like it went from garbage to it feels good, but it's not like busted. Like, wow, good balance change. Like
plus the Shojin buff. The recent Shojin buff, they gave us some AP.
Radiant Shojin feels so good now. But it's not like busted off its mind or anything.
Let's 3 with Radiant Shojin, Rage Blade, and then Archangels. Was pretty good.
Bringing it back. The looks
Lost a stacked harbor board, but you know, we take them.
He played that in one of our lobbies today. It was pretty cracked. It was pretty fucking cracked.
Oh, it still works.
Yeah,
It still
you
works.
get the
It
high
still
roll
works.
really hard, but like
Yeah.
if you get there, if you get there, that shit.
Bro, do you guys
claps.
remember that 1 or 2 patch where like no one knew about Lux and everyone found out about Lux and it was just Lux?
You know, I lost. I was gonna say I lost. Like one of the qualifier tournaments for regionals or for like mid-set or whatever. I lost to someone who just or no, I think it was Nightbringer actually. Someone was playing Lux every single game, and every single game no one contested them, and they went first. Like,
Oh yeah, it was Nightbringer. You're right.
It was
Yeah,
busted.
it was just yellow units everywhere, man. It was fucking
yellow units that tourney. Oh god, and like
Oh my
I
god.
abuse the yellow units too for what it's worth. Like, yeah, that Lux carry was not okay.
Yeah,
But
It was-
but nowadays
Sorry,
she
go ahead.
feels real bad, real bad. You need to hit the 3-star. You need to
Yeah.
you can't just play a Lux 1 and have her kill everything.
Lux
You
2
know,
1v5 in the corner.
I feel like TFT was very color coordinated for a lot of set. You know, there were the green units, there were the blue units, there were the yellow units, and like you keep you take your crayon, you keep drawing on your comp, and as long as you're like mostly one color, you're good. You were good, you know.
There's
But now, like
Gone, Forgotten, Redeemed, and then you play
Like
red
red,
units when you play
red
Yasuo.
I kind of miss Pantheon and Trundle.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Ooh.
Yep.
I realized something during my streams this weekend about 6 skirms and why 6 skirms still suck. It's because Pantheon and Trundle are gone and 6 skirms are just lacking so much frontline now.
Yeah,
That like you don't actually buy enough time for that 6 skirm to ramp up. And that's why like Knights are still better, even after 2 6 skirm buffs.
yeah, they just get stuck on Galio. Whereas before you had Trundle to just kind of eat it.
Yeah. I still have nightmares of like solo frontlining a stacked like a stacked Mordecai or something, and then just seeing Trundle 1 walk up to it and just and then all of a
You get your
sudden
Hector in 3. You get your Hector in 3 with that free runs. All right, it's time. My Hector's never dying. Oh shit, is that a Trundle?
lost my one weakness.
The kiting clip of the Trundle 1 1v2ing like a Zyra 3 and some other 2-star unit. Like, okay, I miss Pantheon. I don't miss that Trundle. Please do not bring that back.
Well, I miss Shadow Double Ionic Spark Trundle. He eats a unit, the health bar turns black because he has so much HP. And it's just black bars.
Barcode gamer.
It has like 20k health. And
Quote unquote fond memories of set 5.0, and by fond we mean no.
Okay, what are your guys' favorite units? Like of all time in TFT, what are just like units you like? It doesn't necessarily have to be broken, just like just cool units you miss. I kind of miss the Summoner Zyra. You know, you give it a Morello, it spawns plants. You go for Power 3. It's a fun champ.
I never played him. That was the thing. I mean, my it has to be Warwick. For set 4 Warwick, Divine Warwick. That shit would just hit right for me for some reason.
Oh,
I was Warwick like every game. Like Runaan's Deathblade QS Warwick 2. Oh my god, it was the biggest fucking nut. Oh, you just see him like like Fantastic Mr. Fox looking ass going through an entire team. Oh, it was perfect.
No,
Some stats, the attack speed buff on everyone, super nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
actually, along that like melee carries, I miss set 2 Olaf, the Zerker version.
Oh
He just
It's
yeets
your
the
team, freezes everybody.
Your whole team freezes everyone, gets into unCCable mode, and just goes pew, 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 heal, 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 heal. It was so funny. This is, and like, I mean, that was garbage. I think that said, I was hard stuck diamonds. We've come a long way. Which also according to Reddit, if you were hard stuck plat in set 1, and then I guess hard stuck diamond in set 2, you're just a garbage player. There's no such thing as improving. That might be a later part of the podcast.
I mean, according to this comic,
Anyway.
you're below 1,000 LP. You're not even human.
Not doesn't even exist. Literal AI playing the game. Yeah, but I think set 2 has some pretty cool units. Like, okay, I like Yorick. I thought Yorick was dope.
Dude, Yorick was the most broken fucking thing.
York
You know,
I like
it's a
York.
5 cost, but they needed a 4 cost, so they just changed them to 4 cost.
Yeah. But
Wait,
that
what did he
ability
do?
was not okay. So like York was a light summoner, I think, or they were called. Were they called summoners or what?
Yeah, summoners.
Yeah,
Summoner?
Light Summoner.
So basically, you know, if you were playing lights, for example, he would like summon a bunch of those ghouly things, and they would count as light units. And light was like if a light unit dies, you get like a attack speed buff on like
It's like
on all
Redeem,
your
but it
other
gives you
light
attack
units.
speed and heals all the other
Yeah, and you get infinite light units. He just puts out the more light units for you to buff your entire team. But yeah, I like that. I also I mean, Udir's still in the game, so we're not going to mention him. But I like triple Archangels Warwick from set 5. That's the one.
5?
Unit
Oh, yeah.
Set 5 triple Archangels Warwick.
Coven Warwick.
Coven Warwick. Jumps on your back.
Just Coven enabled so many fun champs. Coven, that was
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, that was insane. That's insane. See, like a fucking like double warm. You're like it was Rabadon, it was Archangels, Shadow Archangels, and like one of them, but another one of either of them, and then that Daisy or the fucking Ivern is like 10,000 HP, just Daisy here, Daisy there.
Yeah.
There's something about the infinite scaling that's just super fun.
Yeah, for sure.
The Shadow Arcs was a cool item though. That was a cool item. I think
It was a
you
cool
know
item.
it's Shadow items in general. I didn't like it. Shadow Arcs was kind of fun. And then you have Trundle walks over and just steals all that health anyway.
Dude, Shadow TG was super fun. I remember this one Sejuani that had a Shadow TG. It rolled like double Radiant or double Shadow Deathcap or something, and just one-shot my entire team. Just ran on my backline, just one-shot my carry.
The first time I built Shadow TG, I got double Shadow Locket. I put it on my team. I was like, wait, you're not getting any mana. This is garbage.
Oh man, Shadow Locket. That's a good one.
Oh,
Also-
God, Shadow Locket. Well, Shadow Locket also enabled so much. It really enabled Nocturne. Like that,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
was, that was towards the end of the set because it's like, oh, like I can make this item, then I basically have a defensive item to go with Revenant on my Nocturne 3, except he still has 3 carry items, so he's just absolutely unkillable.
Yeah. I mean, Shadow Locket on any of those, like Shadow Locket Forgotten, and like Shadow Locket Yasuo, that was kind of busted.
It was just always broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Shadow Locket was just
reroll,
such
the
an
reroll
insane
brand comp was super nice.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
the second people realized
why is reroll brand not a thing anymore?
The thing about the Brambulance and like Cavs in set 5, it had the Victor. Like it was the Victor for Forgotten Spellweaver, and then Brand just kind of fit alongside that. And then at the tail end of set 5, the Victor became the better version of Cavs anyway.
Yeah.
And then we lost Victor. So like
the units just aren't there
Yeah.
anymore.
yeah.
I think. Like
Because
you don't stabilize on
Cassio, like Knights Cassio Mystic was a thing, but it's brand Knights isn't a thing. Maybe it's just because of the Knight units. They're just probably different.
It's just-
I don't
I
even
think it's
remember
just
what Cassio
awkward.
had.
It was
People-
Jace. You had Jace for frontline, which is insane.
Jace.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Jason
Was
kills
Aatrox in that set?
No. It was Jace.
Nautilus.
Nautilus. Leona
was
was a
in there.
Vanguard. Pop was a Vanguard.
Who else was there?
Wukong. Wukong was
Wukong, yeah,
fucking
Wukong was
insane.
Yeah.
Like
And you
Wukong
put
plus
in, like,
Jace gave
Thresh.
actual damage.
And you can put in Thresh late game. You get the just pull in random
Yeah,
garbage.
yeah.
You win the game.
Oh, I thought it was Bard. Holy shit, Bard was
yeah,
great.
Bard.
Also Bard helped that comp a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Mordecai.
Soraka. So it was Soraka. She kept the whole fucking team alive.
Yes, that too.
Soraka was the most. Soraka was the most important part of that comp, hands down. Hands down, Soraka was the most important part of that comp. That unit was so fucking crazy.
Dude, Dark Stars and okay, set 3 was fucking great. Dark Stars and Star Guardians were such fun comps. Like once you actually got the whole thing together with the Star Guardians, Janna, Nico,
Yeah, you get Janna
Syndra, like
online.
the whole ramping thing, once it got going, it was super fun. And the same with Dark Stars. Like if you had this Zerath and he actually started not completely fucking sucking, it was great. He just
Rageblade Zera just
show everything. Super fun comps. I miss set 3 for sure.
You remember Nicoverse? That shit was. You know what? Okay, so, wait. So I was like just hitting diamond, I think. And when I was like just hitting diamond as set 3 was like kind of wrapping up original base set 3. And I was like, okay, I was like in a Discord call at like midnight with some of my friends, right? And I was like, okay, listen to this. I found the most broken strategy for Nicoverse. I full open forted, only picked up Sorks, got level 8, rolled down, hit Gangplank 2 every game. It was the most broken thing in low diamond elo in set 3.
That
Literally,
reminds
just don't
me.
play both.
That reminds me of the Polt clip where he hits Gangplank on 3-3 because he won level 7 on 3-2 in Nicoverse, and he just has a stacked Gangplank 2 on 3-3. Like,
Yeah.
Nicoverse was so broken, especially when during the like Jinx, Riven, Vayne triangle lottery meta. Like, if you hit Jinx on 3-1, congrats, you're auto top 4, maybe auto win.
Oh, the big 3. I remember
Yeah.
the big 3
yeah.
meta. I saw
God.
some nice memes about that one.
Okay, so I watched a video the other day of someone playing Cybernetics in 3.5, and I'm gonna say Vayne 2 and that set is like half the unit that Vayne was in Vayne 1 is in this set. That unit was so fucking bad relative to Vayne 1 is right now. Like the damage that it was doing. No, like I watched it, right? Like the spell, the damage, everything just was not there. It was like pinging, like the thing that won all the rounds. I think I was watching a Polt video. The Vayne did like very little damage every round. It was literally just Irelia killing everything every round. It just looked so underwhelming.
I don't know, because they popped off, right?
Yeah, but she was a good comp.
super good at some point.
Yeah, no, she was super good, but I think what it is that like, I wonder if there's like a power creep between sets or what, because looking back at that 3 cost, that shit was not 3 cost.
Okay, so set 3, I remember this distinctly. It had a couple iterations. For the most part of the set, 3 cost carries were really bad, and slowly they started making every 3 cost carry viable. And that's what I really liked about the set, because it gave you a lot of options mid game to transition your boards. Like, they all sucked, but then, you know, Shaco was good, and then Ashe was good, and then Cassio was good, Vayne was good, and they slowly brought all of them up. And it allowed a lot of options just throughout the game where you don't have to go from like a random 1 cost carry to a 4 cost carry. And it gave you like those transition units. So, but for the longest time, they all sucked. All the 3 costs are awful. You don't want to play any of them.
I'm looking back, I don't know how Vayne kept up with stuff like Star Guardian Syndra, right? Like you had Nico too with like a Warmogs, like Syndra in the back with like Gunblade, Gunblade blue buff +1. Unit. Yeah, and I don't know how Vayne managed to keep up with that shit. Like it literally, it's just
like a GS on it.
Yeah, it was
literally
kill all the Warmogs playing.
Like, GS was the only reason that unit was viable, I think.
Kill the Warmogs.
She dropped aggro. Like her spell was her dropping aggro doing a little bit extra damage, right? But like there wasn't a ton that even killed her in that set. So,
you ran Chrono with it, so she looked
she got a little bit of attack speed from that.
Yeah. And eventually she could like 1v9 because I think she had like a pretty decent DPS.
Yeah, her DPS was quite good, I think.
Her DPS wasn't bad with Cyber and Sniper both boosting her up.
Sniper, that's what it was. Yeah, she had
Sniper,
Like the unit itself, I guess the thing is, like looking back, the unit itself wasn't great, but like the synergies on it and like the stuff you play with it was really good. So I guess that's what it was. Because I wasn't very good at the game back then. So I'm like thinking back and I was like, man, why was Vayne good back? Because I wish I could just go back in time, like you know, test it out. But I was literally just like I feel like I was Mystic Vanguard or Star Guardian every game in 3.5. Like every fucking game. Like Slam Blue Buff and like I'm either playing Syndra or I'm playing Cass and there's no in between. And that was about it.
I was on my 1 cost train. I played what was it? Ziggs reroll. You guys remember double
Toby, baby.
Instance on frontline. It doesn't get to play the game. There's Aya. There was this was
Shredder. I miss Shredder. I was a Shredder one trick.
There was Kha'Zix from set 3. That was a very unhealthy comp. It's just
true damage.
You guys remember Chrono 1 cost reroll comp?
The Reddit comp. Yeah,
the Reddit comp.
I was that one a bunch too. I loved a lot about
you rerolled Kate. You rolled Caitlyn, you rolled Zoe, you rolled TF, Jarvan. Every 1 cost in the fucking game.
That was my go-to in trade sector with the free reroll when I saw someone was contesting Shredder. I was just like, okay, I'm not playing for as high, but I'm gonna play this like meme Reddit comp, and it actually wasn't that bad.
Trade sector, that was a good one. I would play fucking what is the Battlecast?
So trade sector, I think I've talked about this a little bit before, but trade sector inspired me when I was like, this is again when I was like low diamond. It inspired me to try out a new play style for like a couple games where, again, in a Discord call midnight to my friends, I'm like, okay, hear me out. This is the new way to play the game. Every single round, you roll once.
I just imagine this diamond player. He's like, bro, I got the new strats. I figured it out. Look, we're gonna take him by storm.
So bad, man. Turns out when the roll costs money, it's not quite as good. I tried like 3 games, had no econ every game, went 8th like every game, and decided, you know what? Maybe I'll just go back to watching streamers and figure out how to play the game.
That's what I really liked about set 3 though. Like the galaxies, even though some of them weren't great, just like every game being a little different, you have a different strategy on every galaxy was super interesting. I'm kind of looking forward to set 6. Like I think that's kind of what they're going for. Like they're gonna have different augments to where they're gonna. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're gonna like change the way the game's gonna be played. And I think that's super interesting. You know, you're not really sure what you're gonna get. It's fun.
I think that galaxies for sure is like the most in terms of like fun mechanic. That's probably the most fun that we have. Like the most fun mechanic.
And if the galaxies suck, you just get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you get Dwarf Galaxy with
like shadow. You're not stuck with that for 3 months. You're not stuck with Big Bang Planet for 3 months. This one sucks. Off.
Get rid of it. What if I was peak TFT and
get something else in here? Trade sector. Let's go. Nicoverse.
But I remember the Dwarf Galaxy though. It was like you had the seven mech players. Yeah, the 7 mech players and the guy that went 8 because he wasn't playing.
Okay,
I'll rid of that one real quick.
I want you to imagine something for a second. Okay, close your eyes and enter a Zen mode where it's you load in. It's the Lilac Nebula, right? You see, there's a kale with bow on the carousel, right?
Ooh.
Everyone's going for it. Everyone's going for it. You just you charge in there. You run down the other side of that carousel. A new man with a kale with a bow trailing behind you, and you just win the game instantly.
I see myself getting
it, and now you have a Soraka.
Soraka. Yeah, I got Belt Soraka off of Carousel.
Okay, the key to that galaxy, by the way, was taking Wukong every time. It was Wukong every time because you just play Vanguard Chrono in your early game. It's fucking insane. You beat the kale player.
I thought you take Fizz and you type me mech.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. Like Fizz with a vest. All right, me mech. We're going.
Yeah.
Bro, I loved Urgot. Urgot was such a cool champ. I know some people hate him and hate Lee Sin, but I love those champs.
I don't hate Urgot. I'll say that. Like Urgot, by the end of the set, felt like he wasn't. You didn't have like the Lee Sin moment of like, oh, my units all the way to my right, and their Lee Sin can just one shot kick it off the board and it's gone instantly. And
once they changed the targeting, it was really nice.
Yeah, like the Urgot targeting. Once they changed it to, I think it was like Caitlyn then, where like targeted the farthest unit, but could hit whatever, like actually hit the first thing. And pulled that in, and then took a while to pull in at 1 star. So it wasn't just like it casts and just auto one-shot something. It gave a little bit of time for like something to CC or kill the Urgot and like keep your unit alive rather than.
I think the issue was Thresh. Like that was probably a big problem.
Yeah.
Thresh trained into the Urgot, into the Thresh, into the Urgot.
Your bench is just like you 2 Urgots. You like have an Urgot. You have your shop locked, so you like buy another Urgot as the round starts. You have 3 Urgots on bench, and then it's just like it's like Urgots.
Let's crank in there for good measure.
Yeah.
Just yeet their back line.
But yeah, Lee Sin was blue buff, but that was not it. Like he kicks your unit, and then like if he takes a little damage, he gets another cast off midair, and you're just gone. No matter where you are, goodbye. That's it.
Double insta kick Lee Sin still haunts me. Just no.
You know the worst thing is then what unit was it that? Oh god, I'm trying to think what unit it was. There was a unit that like would do something like jump or like some maneuvering thing, and he'd kick it. Like a lot, like it happened a lot in fights. Like he'd kick it as it was doing that, and it would just fly off the screen and die. I totally forget what unit it was though. I don't think it wasn't Samira. It was. Oh god, what was it? I'm trying to think what this was.
Tryndamere?
Yes, Tryndamere.
Yeah.
If he kicked Tryndamere during his ult, he just fucking flew off the map.
Yeah, that happens. Fucking Tryndamere just spins.
Tryndamere middle of the map. It happens right as Tryndamere spins and just going just bye.
Okay, you know what I need? I need a meme of, you know how like there's that thing. There's a meme of like the thing. I think it's like someone throws a disc or something, and then it goes off the screen. It's like the hey in the background, like Trin spinning. Like Lee kicks him and just hey into the distance. That'd be the best.
That was not it.
That was not it.
Or in like set 4.0, there's like the milk clip of Lee kicking an Ari off the board as the Ari ults, and like the Ari's just gone, but you see the Spirit Bomb kill the rest of the board, and Milk loses the round anyway.
Yeah.
We've gotten some
God.
great clips out of this game. Hot take.
Yeah. You remember Moonlight Aphelios? Was it Moonlight Aphelios?
Oh my, yeah.
Moon Man.
Yeah.
No, never bring back Moon Man, please.
Fucking
God.
Moon Man.
No.
Oh my god, that shit was insane. You remember that one duo's turn? It was a quad. It was like a
It was a
4-person
quad
tournament.
tourney, and one person was designated Aphelios holder.
Yeah.
Aether.
That was
Oh, yeah,
fun.
I remember.
to watch.
So I'll play we had the team tourney with Solus, and he would hit chosen Moon Man every time,
Yeah.
and we won. He hit it every time, and first place, hold it, doesn't matter.
I remember, I think I was watching Kiting stream for that tourney, and I heard, like, the Discord call pre-tourney. It was like, okay, so who's re-rolling what? Solus is Aphelios. Like, oh, who's the Mages player? Like, planning out what everyone's designated re-roll is. Like,
Mhm.
Oh, I miss duelists. Oh, that combo was so fun.
Duelist
Oh, yeah.
Yasuo was so cool. She was so cool.
Dude, Cassio, man, that was probably one of my favorite units in a while.
She was a
was
good
cool.
unit. So simple, but that ult.
Oh, it was broken as fuck. You put in front of their
Dust
backline.
Yeah.
You get the
Redemption
increased
Cassio.
mana. She auto cast, and you have a couple tears on her. Kills everything.
Redemption
Oh,
Cassio
yeah.
was insane. It's like, it's one tier for her. Her job is to just cast once and die anyway. So, like, she casts once, buys a little bit of time. The rest of her team takes a little bit of damage. Nope. Redemption heals them all back up.
Oh yeah, they changed redemption at some point
Yeah.
from the AOE to just the big heal.
Yeah,
Redemption-
I think that was the set 5.
Redemption's
actually.
gone through a couple iterations because, like, I think they changed it going into set 3, but in sets
Yeah,
1
the
and
GA
2,
interaction, they got rid of it.
it was like, once the unit dipped below like half health, it was like a giant circle, took a second, and then giant heal came down.
Mhm.
And then they
Yeah,
changed it to unit
yeah.
dies, and then everything gets healed. And
Before
now,
it was
yeah.
Before
And
it
now
was
it's a
Redemption
small
Dead, and you would have a bunch of Zeds with the Redemption
Oh,
on him,
God.
and you see all of the Redemption circles come down.
GA redemption lights pad Z. It's time. Maybe a spark.
Do you remember the Redemption Fiora tech in Cybernetics? Like, if you had Redemption Fiora, your board was twice as strong. Because like she always died at just the right moment to make everything in your
Fiora's
board and your board go
cracked.
back to full HP. Yeah.
Fear was either the shittiest unit or like one of the best. Until like one of the final patches. She was unplayable for most of the set, and then she was just beyond broken, and like no one even realized it, but they buffed her like 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of like reminiscing about old sets or like stuff we hated, but we do still have Worlds, more stuff to talk about with Worlds.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we do.
Some games happened, first of all, but the Esno winning the lobby, they won lobby first of all. How do I feel about that? Because like Esno actually, he played really well. Like he kind of high rolled, but like he still played well.
Yeah,
I mean, the last game was turbo high rolled, but Ash has been putting in a lot of work, has been getting a lot of coaching, and I mean, it paid off.
OCE really knows how to like coach their one rep, because the same thing happened with Raza last year actually. Like all
pop up.
that was Raza played really well, and going in, we were VOD reviewing so much with him. Like we were VOD reviewing scrims and like helping him like shore up some like weaknesses and stuff he could play, and it really showed at Worlds. And I feel like the same thing's happening with Esha again, and I'm ready for Esha to make finals, because Esha wins Worlds.
How many Hydras are gonna be in that chat?
Show cock. He said he's gonna show cock if he wins.
The mods are gonna have a
show
time.
clock and dip from TFT because you get permaban from Twitch.
I mean, that'd be a way to go out.
Yeah,
That would be a way to go.
Worlds, show cock. Yes.
Not bad. I guess that's the ideal way to go, right? Blaze of Fire. That leaves a legacy.
Okay, if anyone's thinking about this, probably don't show cock on stream. Not
Yeah, don't show
yeah,
cock. Do it on Twitter or OnlyFans.
not life advice. There's sites for that. Twitch is not one of them.
Yeah, depending on the direction.
We get close, but no actual cock.
Yeah.
Thank you. But besides Esha, the other three that moved on were Nukamaro from Japan, Mbappe from Latin America, and Shurkane from EU. I think the surprise for everyone low-key is a couple Spencer not making it after starting 1-3 was kind of surprising. And then, KR had to pull a Thunder this year again. The Korean rep went flat 24th. So
a lot of money. That's thousands of dollars.
It's money. This Xenia, this man really was like, yeah, just give me my money, give me
my cash, baby.
Yeah.
His speedrun Stimmy in real.
Oh my God, that's true.
they hit World Stimmy, and now they get to just go home and make some money and watch the rest of Worlds go by. I don't know. I was surprised. I was surprised with the Korean performance, although apparently they were a Nocturne one trick during regionals or whenever their qualifier was. So I'm not too surprised hearing that, but I was surprised with Spencer. I don't know. Again, I only watched. I didn't watch most of it. I watched the end of the last game, really. But his board looked so like he was just clawing his way from some kind of like really shitty itemization. He definitely got really shitty items. Together. Yeah, because he was running like Rabadon's JG, I think, on like a Karma that went on a Gwen, but like he just never found a tier, it looked like, which was terrible.
Esha and Spencer had the same opener. They both had the redeemed AP opener. But Esha found two. He found a Vel'Koz at Carousel, and he found another Vel'Koz at 7. And Spencer just never got the Vel'Koz. He never got the tiers. And it's just like, same direction, but one hit, one didn't.
Yeah, I will say though, I was looking at that game. I think he had an out. At the end, right? He had 2-star Gwen, GA, Radiant Jeweled Gauntlet, Hodge. He actually had a Fiddlesticks. He had a Fiddle 2 that he ended up selling, right? And to play 4 Invokers. But I've actually experimented with this a decent amount. If you keep the Fiddlestick, because he had a decap that he wasn't putting on the Gwen. If you stick that decap on the Fiddlesticks and you play like the Volley Bear, a couple of Knights, you put Rel in, I think because what he ended up losing to was like a 3-star Cap Yasuo board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Gwen with that specific, like what I listed there, like with the Fiddle AP items, along with the Gwen, it actually can potentially beat that because Gwen is doing percent health. If you look at the end of the fight, right, all of those units were like super low, but he had a bunch of dead units on his board, right? Like the 2 of the Invokers, just a random Karma 1, a random like Syndra. It's like, but it's one of those things where if you don't know the situation that well, it's sort of hard to see, especially when you're in tourney and you're like under pressure. You can't really say, he have Fiddle. I'll do that. Yeah.
When you
he was on Rat.
You don't see it.
He was on the rat train. So it's like
you play one comp, you forget everything else.
I think people get stuck in like Fiddle needs a Spellweaver spat and then he's a carry. I've played Fiddle primary carry because I rolled down, I hit a Fiddle 2 and can't find a single Vel'Koz. It's just you slap the AP items on Fiddlesticks. It does a ton of work. Yeah, like there's a reason that Spellweaver spat is good on him because he likes AP. Just stack AP on him. Like if you have that plus a stacked Gwen, like you have 2 really good AP carries, like that can work. And that's one of those outs where like it's hard to see, but seeing that out can be the difference between top 4ing and bot 4ing, and in a big tournament like this, that means maybe advancing, not advancing, or it makes any kind of difference in that kind of tournament can mean like thousands of dollars. Sometimes the stakes can get really high. So it's just knowing those outs, especially not knowing those outs when you're on Kled brain, can make a difference, which I would also love to talk about Kled because I have some hot takes on Kled.
Yeah, we can talk about Kled.
Mainly that I don't think it's that broken.
Any rebuttal?
Rebuttals, any years?
Really good. Like, do not get me wrong. I think Kled is strong, but like, even if you look at the Kled games today, like I didn't. I watched the VOD of the first 4 games. I didn't get a chance to see the 5th, but in those 4 games, Kled won 2 lobbies and bot forward 2 lobbies. There, in each of the first 4 games, there was a Kled player. The two top fours, which ended up being first, it involved hitting Kled 3 at 3-5 and the Force of Nature, and in Spencer's case, a super early Kennen 3 as well. Like, Spencer high rolled so much to win that game 1, and then he played Rats again in game 3. He didn't high roll that much. It took him forever to find Kennen 3, and he just dipped in 7s. Like, I think the comp needs a lot. Like, it's fairly consistent, but just the Kled 3 at like 4-1, it won't bring you back from open for it. If you're playing it from ahead and you have really good Kled items and you have really good opener for it, if you're like playing it, you hit Kled 3 at 70 HP on 4-1, like, you're good to go, but it's so hard to hard force it and just rely on hitting Kled 3. Like, just the Kled 3 doesn't bring you back. So I don't think it's that broken.
It's a really good tempo comp because like the rat opener is strong and it has a super high cap. There's a lot of things you could high roll. If you high roll the Hellion spats, which is really easy to get, you just need a spat and it's like you can make it. It's not like Legionnaire spat where you can't make it. Like you can make these spats if you get it.
Highest win rate item in the game, by the way. Hellion spat.
That's right. And like you just have all these carries. Like Kennen is insane. It's super good into the meta, and you just have like a lot of like the cap is very high on it. But yeah, if you ever just open for it, I mean,
you're flipping coins. You're flipping coins.
It reminds me of Sins, honestly. Like if you're open forwarding into it, like yes, the cap is super high, and if you hit that cap, you are going first, no matter what. But like the baseline of like what you expect hit every game isn't necessarily enough. Like just the Nocturne 3 with 4 Sins on level 7 wasn't always enough. Like the baseline isn't enough to bring you back from an open for it. It's more than good enough to play from ahead if you have the good items for it. But like just open forwarding into it and hard forcing, it gets super risky. And I think when you have that risk involved, like they didn't B-patch that comp. Like people were saying we need to B-patch Kled, and they just ended up not, which I think is the right call. Like I don't think Kled was necessarily like over the threshold to even B-patch, especially with Worlds coming up. Like you're going to B-patch 3 days before Worlds? You're going to throw a wrench in the meta right before these players have to play for thousands of dollars? Like there's no way.
Jiraiya's on Team Milk. You can tell. Have you seen Milk's match history?
Yeah. Milk's match history has some
Kledge.
a little bit of wrench to throw.
Yeah.
But I think that the thing is, like, I always feel like if it's a 1-cost reroll comp and it's this consistent, right? Like, think about it this way: would you take Kled 3 or would you take a Triss 3? If you have to think about that a little bit, there's an issue, right? Because Triss 3 is, mathematically speaking, twice as good of a unit as Kled 3 is, right?
Sure it is. Mm-hmm.
Right? So, like, 1 times 2 equals 2. But, like, right now, I feel like I would take Kled 3 over Triss 3, right? Like, that's the crazy thing, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it shouldn't, really, it's really hard to say, like, it's really hard to argue that Triss 3 should be weaker than Kled 3, right? It's like, that
I think it's kind of cool that it's not super consistent though, that it can bot 4. It means, balance is getting better. We're at that point where you can't just open force and just congrats to your top 4.
It's no dead 2. It's no
example of it. Early game, doesn't matter. You get the items, you win. Sins for a long time were kind of the same way, but we're kind of getting to that point. I mean, the set's almost done. It didn't really change too much in the mid set, but we're there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so much healthier because I don't think open forwarding should ever be like unplayable, right? But it should be like an opener. It should be like
it needs to be a comeback mechanic.
Yeah. It has to be like you have to have the right opener for an open four. You can't just open forward every game, play Sins every game, and be consistent. Otherwise, the game's unhealthy. Which it's getting to the point where like you really can't do that, which is really good. Imagine like set 3 again. I always go back to set 3.5 like as a golden standard. Like no one opened for it in set 3.5, right? I mean, what would you open for in 3.5? I don't remember. I don't remember, but
yeah.
I opened for it. Oh no! The wheels clicked for me. There was a point in set 3.5 I did open fort mech. This wasn't even re-rolling mech. This was just
Mech, yeah,
standard mech.
You roll on 6 for Fizz. I remember that.
Open fort
remember
until
that.
3.5, roll on 7 for a single Fizz, a single Rumble, and a single Annie.
Yeah.
You have Titans Hodge QSS on that thing, auto top 4 pretty much.
But that's not really consistent, right? Because the major hit Fizz on 6. So that's not like
it was on 7. It was on 7, so it wasn't 100%. Like if I missed that Fizz, I was going 8. But like that was a thing, but that was like one patch. That was also because Titans, they like changed Titans in Hand of Justice, and it was super broken on mech. Yeah.
That's when they got rid of all the percentage like scaling stuff, and that was super nice. It helped a lot.
Yeah. Remember like hodgepodge.
Bro, it's taking us 6 sets to kind of get the game to a balanced state. It's fucked. Set 6 is fucked, I'm pretty sure. Like it took us 5 months. Okay, so like basically the game didn't change from 5 to now. Like it got less complex. They got rid of shadow items, it got less complex. Set 6 is fucked. It's more complex. It's never gonna get balanced. Bro, it's gonna be fun as fuck. I hope, but
it's gonna be so
fun. It's fucked. It's even they're telling us. It's like, bro, it's fucked. Just know what's going into it. They've been telling us it's fucked for weeks.
It can't be less fun because Thresh isn't in the set,
and I'm looking forward to it. Should be good.
And Blitzcrank is back. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. The healthy hook unit. Let's fucking go.
Zephyr Blitz. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that shit was so fun.
The cheese.
I remember
ultimate cheese.
I remember being like amazed the first time I saw. I would watch a stream. I was watching a stream. I think it was Pult probably because I watched a lot of Pult back in the day. I watched like a lot of Pult in GV8. And I like he literally won like a streak an entire like 2 stages by just Zephyr Blitz sweating every round, and no one fucking positioned around it. It's the stupidest shit.
Dude, people didn't scout in set 3. People are starting to scout now. Everyone fucking scouts in position.
Everyone scouts.
Everyone's a sweat. They all look at your boards. They all shift their units from left to right. Everybody. It started set 5. Set 4, no one scouted. Set 3, scouting. What's that, bro? But these
everyone's phantom swapping now. Like,
I like phantom swapping. I'm too slow. I don't know how to find my keys.
I can't auto out APM people anymore. I have to like actually try to.
You know what it is?
Bro, I can't do it on NA. If I play on EU ping, I can do it, but I can't do it on NA. I just fucking can't.
The phantom swap timing is super specific. Well, it has some wiggle room, but it's not like you just press 2 keys at the same time and it all goes over. Like you have to offset them just a little bit. That's why, I think.
And
yeah.
See, what I like to do sometimes, I was in a full master lobby today, right? One of those coveted 7 master players lobbies. And everyone was sweating so hard. And so I just used my aura item as a bait. And I just switched my character to the other side every time. I just won every round at the end of the game and top 4 to 1 HP. It was too lit. Like, they're like, oh shit, there's no way he's moving out of his aura item. There's no fucking way. Just yeet it over. Get out of my trap claw.
That's when the mind games also work into the APM battle, which is a really cool part of it. It's not just a strict APM battle. It's also like an APM battle around like recognizing patterns and what someone's going to do, or like recognizing like, oh, they want position around their aura items, and then what you're doing of fuck the aura items, I'm just getting it to the other side without that.
Yeah, that's actually 5 out of fuck.
Yeah, there's still
that's kind of one of the ways you could read people. You're like, oh, he's going to swap there. You know, he's going to be opposite from the rel because he wants to get the shield.
Yeah.
Maybe same side of Lux.
A big bait is if you put like you put Rel the same side as your carries. Let's say you're playing 4 range or something. You have Rel the same side as like your Ashe Aphelios, so they think you're gonna switch, right? Because like these sweats, they're reading into it. They're like, oh shit, they're keeping the Rel on the front left so that they move their whole backline to the front and the back right. And then you just move the fucking
like, just move the Rel.
Just move the Rel. And then they like their it's too free.
I can't move my backline. I'm not fast enough for that.
That's why tourneys are fun, because you get to get reads on these people throughout the course of a tourney. So you kind of like get like start like you're playing the game, but you're also playing like the mental game of like how are these swaps going to play out. So it's super interesting in that aspect.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little excited for them to take out Phantom Swap, because then I could just go back to manually out APMing everyone.
Yeah, dude, fuck this Phantom Swap. It's too much work, man. They got rid of carousel selling because of the mobile players. Where are the mobile players now? Mobile players, rise up, man. We need riots in the streets. I'm not trying to.
I miss
Swap everything,
I
man.
miss carousel selling. That was quick gold, baby. That was.
I don't even.
You had the. They took it out, and you could do it real quick sometimes.
Yeah. I still do that sometimes off and stuff like
I miss it, though. Being able to show units, like if you have 2 Nidalees and you're getting another Nidalee from Carousel because that's the item you need. Like I need that sword, but I'm not trying to have a gunplate Nidalee, man.
Yeah.
Let me sell it.
I do wish they would put selling during the carousel. Like you can't sell in that little window to make eco, but like you can sell a unit if you see that like I have 2 Nidalees on my board, I don't want to make a gunblade on this Nidalee too, then like you can sell one of those Nidalees.
Yeah, that's a good point. You just move the econ timing to before carousel instead of after.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be so nice. I miss the like adrenaline of like taking something off carousel and knowing that if it slams an item I'm fucked, but if I sell it I'm a god, right? Like you just like you what you do is before the carousel's even over, you're like first pick, and like from the time you take your item until the time the carousel ends, you're warming up. You're warming up. You're getting ready to just fucking you're cranking it. Yeah. So for like 15 seconds straight, you're just
your stream just hears.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you don't sell it, you get Gunblade Nidalee, and you just
it's all
out.
That also, like, I mean, there is the argument that that's like the decision you have to make of like, that's a new decision from Carousel. It's like, oh, I take this unit, it might like combine, and I don't want that item on the unit, so it ends up becoming that kind of choice too. Like, there are arguments for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I miss though? When you could sell off of Carousel real easy, I would go into round 1, I would take the unit off of Carousel, and then I would sell the unit, and then I would lose to round 1 creeps.
Yeah.
Wasn't that was a way of like open forwarding at some point? Like you just you lose to creeps and you get the
really? Yeah, probably. Maybe for Nocturne.
You can't sell your units.
Yeah, but you can't do that anymore.
Yeah. You can't do it anymore.
Well, you could theoretically lose to 1-3 and 1-4.
Back in the day, you
units,
could lose to round 1
but
creeps.
it's so not worth it now.
Yeah, I've definitely I'm in the camp of having accidentally sold my round 1 unit before.
Same.
And then like the game's just over. Round 1, the game's over. I don't think you actually get those items back too. I'm pretty sure if you
I think you do.
I feel like you do.
They come back on the last creep round. That's the thing. You're missing all that for a dual force.
You just got gold drop. You got a 1 gold drop. It's fine.
I'm missing my Lee Sin Yasuo opener that I get off my fucking blue orb until 4-5 when I finally drop.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter by the time it hits 4 or 7, but like missing that gold on 1-4 can still be a death sentence because you don't get your eco snowballing the way everyone else can. So, losing the creeps is not worth. I mean, unless you know you get all your orbs and it's just, you take 2 damage, like, it could be worse. But, like, missing an orb, I feel like, is a death sentence now.
I remember always, when I'd take, like I get something like a cloak on a TF or something, right? Like, in, like, set 4. And I was always waiting for the time that I lost to round 1 creeps so that I could just bitch about it, you know? Like, I was just waiting for my cloak TF to lose 1-1.
Round 1, yeah.
So I could just like go to Twitter and just be like, "What the fuck is this?"
I lost the round 1 creep.
It never happened though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think I'm pretty sure. I would assume they worked out the math on that.
Yeah, I hope
they have to have done it.
I'd always sweat a little bit though. Like TF's like 2 hits from dying when he finally finishes off the creep. And I'm like, oh man, if you missed that, I could have taken it to Morthog. Come on, TF, try a little less hard, man.
Man, I remember when creeps actually killed you. I haven't died to creeps in a minute. Set 1, set 2, dude.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
creeps are so easy now, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean,
people die and that shit feels bad. Like you play TFT for the first time and you can't even beat the creep round. You can't even play the game. You're like, I keep dying to wolves every fucking game. What? Come on, Morthog. What can I do?
Yeah.
I feel like they still made creeps easier to beat because I feel like unless I'm playing the most piece of shit board ever, I haven't lost the Krugs in a while. Like I've beaten Krugs with some boards where I look at them like I'm not sure this wins. Krugs used to be so hard.
I miss the old Krugs.
Oh, God.
I mean, I don't know if you guys played Dota Auto Chess at all, but that game had some creeps. That actually had some creeps. You know, like they had their own version of wolves. If you don't position for wolves, you die. You lose the wolves. They had a couple creeps where if you don't play the proper comp into them, you can't beat them. And these are like the equivalent to like, you know, Dragon for us, right? You'd have Dragon and Dota Auto Chess. It would wipe your whole team if you don't position, or if you're just playing it. Or, you know, you play some comp that lacks that kind of like sustained DPS. Boom, you're done. And then like they had the late game creeps and trolls. You know, there's like one comp that could beat trolls. Everything else, all right. If you're low health, you're dead. Goodbye. You died.
Has anyone here lost to Dragon? Because I don't think I ever have.
I've seen it before, but I haven't.
There was a combination with tie-ins when it had percentage like base damage. They had it hard coded to where tie-ins never showed up on it, because if it did, you just lose.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Morthog was like, the only item that can't drop from this is like tie-ins or like in like BT or something. Because if it gets those, you're just fucked. So we just don't put it on it.
We're so blessed now to have Krugs that die to. You know what I played into Krugs today? I played Gragas 2, Kha'Zix 2, and I think that was it.
Oh, you can play. It wasn't even 3 Kledge and a.
Dude, I'm doing Krugs real harder. Okay, wolves, I get it, but like, come on, Krugs. Wolves, like, they just kind of fuck certain comps. Like, if you've got like backline based comp, you just kind of get fucked sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I'm down to make Krugs harder. I miss people dying to Krugs. I want to ping some bitches.
Punish the rerollers. You know, you want to not spend the extra like 2 gold to actually.
Yeah, I miss seeing people roll Krugs to find a board.
Yeah.
Board at stage 2.
That'd be so funny to watch a fucking open fort Sin player lose to Krugs. Oh my god, it'd be so satisfying.
I've done that, and I've lost to Krugs having leveled to 5 and just like, oh, okay, I'm playing 5 units. They're all 1 stars. This is fine. No,
like, it's that Sin. You look at your board and you're like, wait a second. Am I gonna die here?
You're just like.
And then you're watching the fight play. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna die here." It's fucking. You start slamming items. You're like, "All right, BT Ziggs. Okay, let's go. Warmogs. Okay, sure, that might help." And then you're like, I only killed 1."
And then the whole lobby just pings you.
You just say PG. It's a bad matchup.
The question marks start coming out when it's 1v2.
Yeah.
Krugs directly counters my comp right now. You know, I can't beat Krugs. Like, fuck, man. What am I supposed to do? The man, the fucking the game hit 3 Krugs at 3 Krugs at. What am I supposed to do? Okay. Also, someone in chat mentioned when IE stacked, and just like one last little hint of nostalgia. You remember IE Deathblade, Mana Reaver Irelia in set 3?
Yes.
She would literally just go. She would go from one unit to the next unit and just kill everything.
Irelia, yeah.
There's bugs where she kills everything at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
She would like ult 5 units at the same time and kill them all. That one was great. I've got placement from that. Like I'm about to die and she just kills everything and I'm like, oh, it's lit. We won.
Not bad.
Not bad. Okage business.
Okage business. Yeah, that's a fat Okage business moment.
Okay, business Morthog. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Anyway,
yeah, what do we want to talk about?
I have
options.
Fun game. So back to Worlds. Cycling back to Worlds. The giant thing that happened this morning. Predictions for who moves on to the final day and who wins the whole thing. Because we do have like. We have the groups for tomorrow, and I really do like this format change also of like, and it gives you 5 games like with the same people, and you can adapt to them and like adapt to a lobby rather than I play a game, I have to go to a whole new lobby, who knows what the fuck is going to happen. So Group A is Gluteus Maximus, Ak, Zising Che, Milk, Woozle, Oso Lucas, Estra, and Shurkane. And then Group B is Skipaeus, Cheetux, Hwanmi, Robin, Dudu, El Tomo, Nukumaru, and Mbappe.
So tell us about the format ahead of time, though. So like
Yeah,
you
that's
can plan
true,
your seeds out almost a little bit. Because
Yeah.
the players going in, they didn't know they were gonna have to play for like we didn't know there was gonna be buys.
Oh yeah. That's also another thing. Like they had all this released like after regional. So like when Spencer and Milk were playing for their world spot, they just thought they were playing for their world spot. They didn't know it was a world spot and a buy.
Yeah.
Qualifiers.
It makes a difference.
A huge difference.
It's actually huge.
$1,000.
It's a huge competitive integrity issue, not gonna lie, and I really hope they fix it next set. Because people need to know exactly what they're playing for.
Oh, you just have to bitch. That's the thing. You bitch and it gets fixed.
You say that.
You bitch and you hope it gets fixed.
I feel like, I mean, they've been improving.
Yeah, for sure. They're on the right course. I'm sure they've already gotten a lot of backlash for it. I think this set, so I'm sure next set they'll be like, okay, you're playing for a play-in spot. If you're a third, you're playing in. You know, you're not like. I'm sure they'll clarify a little bit more. It's all. I mean, it's a very TFT is a pretty young esport still, right? It's like it's like definitely in its infancy. So growing pains happen.
It's improving.
Yeah, for sure, and that's the important part, right?
They complain and they listen.
Yeah, they listen a lot more.
There's constraints. There's just not enough money, not enough people working on it. But it's getting there.
Yeah, they're doing their best. We've talked about it before. We're very lucky to have a dev team that is interacting with the community and is interacting with the community's like.
We're blessed to have Mordog. Whenever Mordog goes on vacation, it's fucked.
Oh yeah.
Blue Blog.
TFT guys. I forgot Mordog was on vacation that week.
They're just gonna unplug that bitch. Yeah, Mordog goes on vacation. The meta is completely. I don't even understand how it happens.
Yeah,
he's gone, and then we just have Warweek, and it's like. He left some other time. We had some other fucking awful meta.
It was Shadow Blue LeBlanc.
How is TFT being carried by Mordog so hard?
Yeah.
Also, I'm realizing how long predictions for the entirety of finals is going to take. Champion. Who wins the whole thing?
Who's winning?
Okay. Appy's is locking in Esha.
Okay, so I was gonna say NA going into this, but Robin hasn't been so hot, and Milk only plays Kledge. Honestly, it might be like Skipaeus or some shit.
I can see it.
I thought it wasn't gonna be EU, but EU's been sweating, and Skipaeus has been popping off. And honestly, they've been looking hot.
You know,
I really hope they don't fucking win though. But
imagine having to play in a lobby with imagine just the lobbies right now where you have 4 EU players in a lobby, and you just have to know, they just have to hold that shit over you oh my god.
I don't even care if NA wins or not. I just don't want EU to win. So I'm gonna say Skipaeus is gonna win. He's gonna get cursed. He can't win anymore because once you say they're gonna win, they're going 8th. You know, he's Spencer's guaranteed. Not so hot. So Skipaeus, you got it, bro.
I want to
1, 2, 3.
I want to go wild card. This is gonna be wild. I'm going Nukumaru, the Japanese player.
Oh,
because I think he looked really good today. I
love the little regions.
He looked he looked solid and consistent. I think him and Esha both were super consistent, and also Shurkane.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Shurkane's placement. He went 5-2, 4-4-4. That's ridiculously consistent. And Nukumaru 2-5-6-2-3.
Yeah,
I think he looked good. Yeah,
it's just a rough finish.
The bot 3 of that lobby were NA China Korea. The tiny regions are doing pretty well.
Good on OCE and JP, right? Because they get one representative. They had one representative last year or last Worlds. I guess it wasn't last year, but they show up and I thank God they made it out of play-ins, because the fact that they had to be in play-ins itself is that's widespread. That's whack.
You know what though? OC in Japan, they had 1 seed. So Nukumaru and Esha were the last seed from the region. They're also the first seed. So they're strong. So I guess by some weird reasoning, you expect them to make it out, which it's fucked that they had to make it out of qualifiers, but good that they made it. They also did look really good, because it's not they were playing against absolute bots. They were playing against good players. I think everyone like played solid except maybe whoever the fuck went 88888 did a thunder. But
Yeah.
like people look good today. So like Esha and Nukamaru having good performances, I don't think you just throw that out the window and say, "Oh, like it was weak competition. They made it through." Like,
No, they definitely played well.
They played well, and I think they are actually contenders.
Actually was on his shit. The last round where he outplaced the Japanese player because he middled his Vel'Koz to hit the. That was really good.
That
That was
Vel'Koz
really good.
positioning made me cream my pants. It was so good.
Yeah, he looked good.
Oh.
Today. Looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I'll just say somebody from Korea, just because I feel like we saw the Nocturne one trick, but I don't even know any of the Korean players, but those players are correct.
Dudu and Woozle.
Early game. Dudu,
Sure.
I'll give it to Dudu. But no, because like I think out of all of the regions, they're probably like in terms of early game, like the most solid. I think they're a little bit on the aggro side, but like after playing with a bunch of I don't know if you guys have ever played with who was the one that was playing on NA that got rank 1 like in set 5? Bobe, yeah, right. Like that guy's early game was cracked, like actually better than anybody in the server.
He had a really good late game strat, so where he would play whatever early, then pivot to like that invoker board. He played it super well.
Yeah, and I think like KR has a lot of those kinds of players. They play like an insane early game, and like I think in terms of consistency and tournament performance, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. So, but you know, I haven't seen any of them, so I don't know. Maybe they're all bots. Maybe plans was an indicator. We'll see.
I mean, they're probably not over 1,000 LP on NA right now. They probably don't have NA accounts, right? So if they're under 1,000 LP on NA,
their secret strats.
You know, they have to be bots.
I feel like Korea's like been maybe one of the best regions at early game, if not the best for a while, just because like partially because of how aggressive they play, but because they play that aggressive early, they're a little more used to the kind of like early game aggression that's become more standard now. So like they've been at this for a while, and it's like just coming around because we used to be so greedy. Like and he's not bad at early game, but like Korea's just been doing it for so long, especially in like a tournament format. Early game matters a lot, and like playing early game more or less perfectly can be a huge factor.
Okay, I might be a minority here, but I think Korea sucks at early game. I think they play aggressively and they just mash the F key, but they don't actually think about it. Obviously, this is a blanket statement, but I think they just level no matter what. If they level to 5 no matter what, they level to 6 and 7 no matter what. They don't actually look at the boards. It's kind of like how Esha went 7 today at 3-2, despite having a Nidalee 2 with BT Rageblade. You probably win that at 6, but you go 7, and even though it's aggression, I don't think that's playing your early game well. I just think it's playing it like blind. And that's something Korea has been doing for a while. They just play blind aggro for no reason.
I think it
doesn't matter. F key.
It makes the line very hard going into like. Yeah, I do think I was going to be interested to see how Korea plays with everyone tomorrow, because I think a lot of the best Korean players know how to turn, like they are able to identify just the best players in general, right? Know how to like kind of weigh the like risk reward and like whether they actually like not to overplay a spot, right? They know not to overplay.
If they send another jaywalking, it's doomed. That guy, like, if you look at that guy's early boards and how much money he can make out of like the worst boards ever, you see this guy hard streaking with like garbage, and you're like, oh, all right, it's doomed.
you could say they know how to adapt Shadow Mort Dog.
Shadow Mort Dog, yeah. But
yeah, we'll see. I'm curious.
Honestly, all the players are solid.
Yeah,
like there's so many good players for me. I'm looking forward to the games.
There are no bad players at this world. Straight up.
I don't think there's any region that has a leg up on any other region. To be honest, like they're all really good players. They're all going to play good TFT, and it's going to be how those.
SCA needs a slot. Get Jose in here.
Get Jose to the worlds, please.
Yeah, they need to.
You know, we could have just had 4 more slots and had 24 people in the tourney.
Yeah.
Four slots for SCA.
Fuck it.
Nah. But that's actually something compared to League that I love, because like over in League, it's just like 4, maybe 5 regions. That's literally all that matters. That's the only teams that you're like they have any kind of shot. you have so many like wild card region teams that you look at them, you're just like, okay, they'd be lucky just to make like group stages, like make it past play-ins. Over in TFT, like we're not counting out Brazil, Japan, Latin America, or OCE, despite if they were over in League, they'd be considered like wild card minor regions that have no shot. But over here, like they have a legit shot at winning the whole thing and not just like doing well.
Mm-hmm. What is that? Is it just because like you don't need 5 good people? You just need like one person.
Yeah, it's just one guy sitting on their laptop, just fucking. Oh man, I'm gonna buy some shit from shops. From some shops. Let's go. You don't need like the infrastructure, the scrims, and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
right? Like,
the infrastructure is a huge deal, and it's I guess partially because like TFT doesn't have much infrastructure because we also don't need it. It's just one person. But like over in League and every team game, like you need that infrastructure in place, like a dedicated org, like a coaching staff, like a good general manager that can get the right players together. Like there's so much that goes into making a team over there. And meanwhile, over in TFT, it's just
there's more moving parts.
Me click buttons.
I'm playing at Worlds with my pants off, sitting in front of my laptop. Like it's like.
Exactly. You know Kurum was playing Set 4 Worlds naked.
Yeah, it helps you focus. No constraints.
And shed your material possessions. Anyways, we are going to start wrapping up a little bit here, so we can start answering some of the questions from. We have 2 questions, at least so far. And so the first one is from Nora, who asks, "What's y'all's opinion on the prevalence of reroll, etc. like Udyr, Kledge, Vayne, etc. / Hellion comps this patch? Is it healthy for the meta? Should Riot have changed it / released a mid-patch update before Worlds?" I think you want to start with this GV8.
I think it's good to have reroll comps. If you get like 5 Vaynes at 2/2, that should be a viable route for you going forward. It's not something you should be able to force blindly, but it should definitely. It's good to have a lot of viable ways to win the game. That's not like, oh, you need a 4 cause or you need a 3 cause or you need this specific thing. So I think it's good. If you have the right opener, I think it's good to have that as an option.
Having a variety of costs carries being viable is super healthy for the game for sure. Like, and none of them even being like super hard forceable. And I think that's when I have big complaints about the game, is when it feels like you need a certain cost of unit to do anything. Like earlier even this set, there were points where if you didn't have a 2-star 5 cost carry or a 3-star 3 cost, you couldn't play the game. Like you're running a 4 cost carry, go fuck yourself. And that's when I like have complaints about the game. But right now it feels like there's a lot of different costs of carries that are viable. Like all the 1 cost rerolls, like we can argue Kledge is too strong, but you still have Vayne in there who's, I don't think Vayne's too, like she's strong if you have a good opener for it, but she's not like too strong. And all the 4 costs, there's a ton of 4 costs carry viability. 3 costs are a little bit lacking, which I guess is the bad part, but and 5 costs are still good. There's like, and also like Cavs are still playable. Hot take, Cavs are still playable, so like some 2 costs. Like
that's good.
Like, but if you play Cavs from a good spot for it, like that's another viable out. Like you have a ton of options for what to play right now, and that feels really good.
Yeah, it's not like the set 5 patches. If you guys remember, there was like one patch is you can only play 3 cost units. Yasuo, Riven. What was the other one? Nocturne. Cat. That was it. That was it. Or like the 2 cost rerolls, right? Like Set, which had the B patch, but then you had the Cavs, and then you had LeBlanc, all on the same one. And it's like, if you're not playing these, good luck. You're fucked. You play something else. But like, it's nice when there are multiple ways to play the game, especially around like the cost of units. Because if you're forced to do one place, like even if there are multiple 4 cost units, right? Like at the same time, it feels kind of bad when that's the only kind of unit that you can play for. Like, the 4-1 roll down lottery, it's not fun, right? Like if everybody's just donkey rolling on 4-1 to hit their 4 costs, it's like,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of skill expression in the game when like there's a lot of viability between, it's not just like who play the right 4 costs, when like you can play and there's like so many lines, right, that aren't all the same, like get to like Econ Well, the 4-1 roll down, whatever. When there's like so many lines, you can play like the 2-cost reroll line, 3-cost reroll line. They all these different ways to go. That's when the skill pressure in TFT gets really high. So I think it's really good when there's a lot of stuff viable. Again, I think Kled might be a little bit too strong right now, but it's not bad to have 1-cost reroll in the meta. It's good because like it means that people who can recognize that they're in a good spot to reroll something are rewarded for that, right? People who recognize they're in a good spot to reroll Tristana, even if she's not, are still rewarded for that. So there should be lines that aren't just 4 costs and 5 costs.
Yeah, and if you see other people rerolling a specific cost, like you're more incentivized to do the same thing. Like if you have a Vayne opener, someone's like going Kled, you're like, oh, I should play Vayne because they're rerolling, better chance for me to hit.
Exactly.
It's a little tricky because like that's kind of the issue we have with 3 costs because once one person starts going, you start going, the other person takes their comp.
Yeah.
Everyone hits. The guy playing the 4 costs, not doing too hot.
Uncontested Lucian 1. Let's go.
All right, and then we can do this one last question and then wrap things up. So this last question is going to be from Beppo, and it's, do you ever have strides in your mental when doing long streams? I guess like ups and downs your mental when doing really long streams, and that's going to be a yes for me. I mean,
yeah, for sure. You get grumpy towards the end. You get grumpy as fuck. People start backseating. You tell them, "Shut up! Don't talk, idiot."
Yeah, when I did my 24-hour charity stream, like around hour 20, I was just like, I was so tired and like just dead mentally. It was so bad. Like, but I don't do long streams that much, partially because like I know it's so hard and I'm not like used to it. So, and the couple long streams I've done, I'm like, yeah, this is a lot. I'm dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta prepare. You gotta like sleep. You gotta have food ready. It's
hard as fuck
for any long stream, not just a 24. Like honestly, you really need to be like ready for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say if I'm streaming 10 to 12 hours, I'm already running it down. I already decided. So it's fine for me. That means I probably don't have chat closed, which is already a big L. That's a big L.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's I feel like even at least the way I stream, I think I'm very interactive chat, and like 6 hours of that is like I'm fucking mentally drained. You know,
6 hours
it's like
so
it's so
after
hard.
that, it's downhill.
Yeah.
6 hours is also a good stream length though. Like I feel it's like it's nice and long. Like you get to like build up your viewers and like get people to come in and like spend some time, but it's not like too long where it's like it's just going on and on and on and on and on and everyone's tired. So
yeah. So the answer, Beppo, is yes. Yes. All right, and then I mean, I think Jirachi had a little story they wanted to share with us before we call it, and then
my god, the conclusion of the Kurum's golf equipment saga. So for people who haven't been paying attention, for the past like I want to say month or so, we've had a bunch of we've had the return of the Kurum X win trade club, except the win trade accounts this time are just his golf equipment. So we had I was golf flag, we had Jiggly's golf club, we got up to like 20 this time. There were a lot of us. So impromptu, I believe it was on Tuesday night, we challenged Kurum to a wager. On Wednesday night, we played 2 games against him, the golfers versus Kurum. If he wins, quote, and we had a set like placement average. If he wins, we gift him 100 subs. If he loses, he has to do a full golf stream. He lost by 1 placement. Like, he got 6th game 1, got 2nd game 2, and that game 2 he needed a 1st to win. And he got that 2nd, and Rue closed it out. So, really good time. Kurum has to do a golf stream now.
Oh, that hasn't happened yet. Oh, when's that gonna be? I saw the last one. I actually watched it for like 2 hours.
Yeah. We had enough golfers by the end. We could stack 2 full lobbies of completely different people against him. Like, I played game 1 and dipped the fuck out for game 2, and the same thing like down the line. So a ton of fun. We're already like planning we're already planning the theme for next set. Not leaking it. Stay tuned for that. Eventually it'll happen.
Oh, spicy. Got a little
That's
leak in here.
good.
Not bad.
No leak.
yeah.
I asked. I actually specifically asked if I should leak it tonight or not. I was told no, do not leak it. We're gonna save it. So.
Oh, we know what's happening. It's already leaked. It's out there.
You know,
We know what's happening.
How much of a leak is it that's
There's
happening? It always happens. There's always something. Come on.
That's all we needed. It's over.
No snitches here. Something's gonna happen, but y'all knew that already. But stay tuned.
All right, so chat, you have that to look forward to. You also have Kurum's golf stream to look forward to. And again, thank you again, GVA, for joining us on this magnificent episode of Triforce Tactics.
Actually, wait, no, that reminded me of something else. Fun fact: my org actually they sent out a poll of like, okay, we want to do a couple like YouTube videos of like people like RPG people like playing games together. Which ones can you do? In the forum, one of the things they had was golf with your friends. So I signed up for that. They're releasing a YouTube video of a bunch of us just playing golf, and I'm doing that, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Self-plug.
So if anyone in chat is looking for any golf things, we have a lot. We have a lot looking forward to.
There's a lot of golf content coming up.
A lot of golf content to look forward to. All right, so we are right there.
Yeah.
2022 is golf season, baby.
Hell yeah, we're all dropping TFT for it.
Golf theme in TFT though. Think about that. Set 6.5. Replace all these golf champions with golf balls.
Not bad. All right, thank you so much. Thank you to Josh and Kev for being great hosts, and GVA, thank you again for being a great guest. And we will see you all next week. Peace.
Take care, guys.